My name is Sean. I'm glad you joined today's ESPC community webinar. Today's session is From Content Chaos to Control via Copilot Governance with Manfred and Michaela. We love hearing what you guys have to say, so remember to join the conversation about today's webinar and more on X. Our handle is @ESPC_community and our hashtag is #ESPC26. Tweet us, tag us, and tell us what you learned. Don't forget to check out our Learning Hub, which updates the latest blogs, ebooks, webinars, and how-to videos. You can access NVIDIA Learning Hub by visiting our website, espc.tech, and clicking Learning Hub tab at the top of the page. Don't forget to join us for our next webinar, Working Smarter with Copilot, Real Scenarios for Everyday Work, with Pascal Brunner, taking place this evening, Wednesday, 13th of May at 4 p.m. CEST. To register, visit the page, Microsoft Copilot registration page. Join us at ESPC 26 this November in Amsterdam. The newly announced program features 120 plus sessions across 9 expert-led tracks covering Microsoft 365, Copilot, AI, Power Platform, security, governance, agents, and more, including real-world insights from Microsoft experts and MVPs. Super early bird tickets are available until 26th of May. Use code Copilot Week for additional savings and book using the QR code. Early bird pricing ends Friday the 15th of May. Secure tickets to EPPC 26 today and expand your knowledge across Power Apps, Copilot, Copilot Studio, AI, Power Automate, Security, and Dynamics. Use Copilot Week for additional savings and scan the QR code to book now. After the webinar, we'll have a Q&A session. Type any questions you might have in the chat box. Question will be selected and answered at the end of the presentation. This webinar will be recorded and added to the Learning Hub. You'll be notified by email once available. And now I'm going to pass you over to today's webinar presenters. Hello, Manfred and Michaela. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our webinar.
Yeah, I will share the screen.
Exactly.
Is it already visible?
Yeah, I can see the screen, yeah.
Perfect. So, hi again. We're very excited to show you today how effective M365 governance becomes the true foundation for successful Copilot adoption. But we will not just talk about governance today. We will take you along on our organizational Copilot journey, and we will share with you real wins and real challenges that we face and the practical solutions we implemented based on our experience in the financial sector. So I hope you had your afternoon coffee, and if not, this is your perfect moment to grab one. But before we start, please let us introduce ourselves. I'll go first. I'm Michaela Stancu. I am a consultant specializing in Microsoft 365 governance and innovation with over 5 years of experience in the Microsoft world. I am passionate about helping organizations achieve secure collaboration and efficient adoption of modern workplace tools. I focus on data protection and promoting innovation with the help of automation and AI. And my colleague and I form the team that is responsible for Raiffeisen Bank International Governance. Our mission there is to have successful tools adoption and in compliance with the financial industry standards. And now that being said, I would like to hand over to Manfred for him to also introduce himself shortly.
Yes, welcome from my side. Manfred is speaking. I work for Raiffeisen Bank International since many years. We started with the cloud topic in 2012. Since 2016, we are in the cloud. And I'm responsible for innovation and for Microsoft 365 innovation and governance topics. And we are happy to share our insights with you. Yeah, let's start with the first topic. This is the agenda. Agenda is quite easy. We will present some objectives. We will do a short introduction to Raiffeisen Bank International. Then, of course, we will explain why governance is an important topic for usage of Copilot and agents. Then we will do the next step to show you our governance tasks, which we automated, which we do on weekly, monthly, quarterly basis. The next topic will be a short overview about our agent governance, which we are already working on, and then a summary and a conclusion of this session.
How do you manage Copilot and agents responsibly in the age of AI-driven collaboration? This is actually a question that many organizations have. And I would say the answer is not easy to give, but through control, you can responsibly adopt AI, but control not as a limitation, but as an enabler. And that control is, of course, governance, and it is not just a checklist or a checkbox. Yeah, it's a strategic foundation that ensures Microsoft 365 tools and AI are used securely while also driving the innovation. Today, we'll explore, for example, the policies that we implemented and the policies that make this AI adoption responsibly, covering areas, for example, like data protection, access management, and lifecycle control. And by the end of this webinar, you'll clearly see why governance is critical for AI and how SharePoint Advanced Management, in short, I'm sure you already know it by now, it's called SAM, helps you maintain a secure, well-managed environment in the financial sector. And now we will show you the AI maturity model. First, this is important to mention because organizations are at different stages of AI adoption. Yeah, some are just starting with Copilot, while others are already more advanced in their journey. And I would say at level 3, the structured, the governed foundation, it's where things really get interesting. So the Microsoft 365 controls, please go to the next slide. Why it gets interesting? Because with Microsoft 365 controls, there is the foundation. This is the level, the third level, where the foundation for Copilot is built. Governance will look, of course, different depending on your level of maturity. And for us, for example, at Raiffeisen Bank International, we'd position ourselves somewhere at level 3, but there are no clear boundaries. Why I'm saying this? Because we already implemented controls that fall under level 4, so that's the optimized level, and level 5, the AI-driven one. And we will focus today mainly on the level 3, the structured governance approach. Why? Because this is the level where the most organizations are at. Please go to the next slide.
Perfect. Before we go into the details, we do a short introduction about our customer, which we are speaking about. It's Raiffeisen Bank International. As you see, it is a group. You see here we have more than 80 million customers. We have many countries in the southern and eastern Europe region. You see here Ukraine, Romania, Serbia, Kosovo, Albania, Bosnia, Hungary, Slovakia, Czech, and Croatia. So this is our main focus. Headquarters in Austria. We have 1,400 outlets. Are on the stock exchange since many years, and our main focus is Southern and Eastern Europe, with all the different languages, with all the different cultures. Some insights about our tenant. Some key figures. We have 45,000 users in the tenant, or employees, and all of them have the Microsoft 365 E5 license. We have about 10,000 guest accounts in our tenant on a regular basis. We have 6,000 teams running. We have 13,000 SharePoint sites, 43,000 OneDrive accounts, and we use Copilot chat for all users. It's enabled for everybody. And we have the paid version, the premium version, Copilot licensed version for 4,100 full licensed users. Governance is nothing which started at the Copilot. As the Copilot appears in a bank, governance was always a major topic. So some history which help us to have a good starting point for the Copilot. So going back in 2016, we started with 2 pilot countries to go to the cloud. So it was an early mover. 2017, the head office was in the cloud, and then we introduced also conditional access for all users and multi-factor authentication for all users and all guest accounts. 2018, we already defined retention policies to clean up data for all mails, for team chats, for team channels, for Viva Engage, and also for videos, so that we get rid of outdated content or old content. 2019, next important step was the labeling, which was introduced. So we used there 5 different labels for mails and also for documents. In 2025, we started with the auto labeling topic because we migrated also tons of files from file shares to the cloud, and those have to be labeled automatically. So labeling is an important part later for our Copilot governance topic. 2019, we introduced the Azure-based access reviews for all teams. That means every half a year, or the team's owners or teams are checked if there are at least 2 owners associated with this policy, and they have to check if the members are still fine or not. So this was automated in 2019. It's well established for all of our teams, of our 6,000 teams. 2018, we started with the business-to-business related management of guest accounts, which is also an important date. And we introduced in 2020 our procedure to get rid of inactive guest accounts. So we have there some deletion procedure, which I will explain later. In 2022, we said, okay, we need a special Microsoft Teams room to handle or to collaborate on strictly confidential content. This is the highest security level we have here. And in this room, the collaboration of about content which is strictly confidential is allowed. For all other rooms, it is forbidden. In 2023, we approved already also the Microsoft 365 archive and backup, so it can be used in our tenant. Microsoft 365 archive is already used for certain policies, which we explain later, and backup is approved but still not used. To give you a short introduction about our Copilot usage. So as said, the Copilot chat is open to all users. The licensed version, here the approach is that the business departments have to buy their own licenses and to pay for their own licenses, and therefore you see there an incremental increase of licenses, which we have here. It's now 4,100 as said. And of course, most use it in Teams, most use it in Outlook, but also in Excel, PowerPoint, Word, we see improvements. Which departments use it most? Mostly we see on the right side, mostly agile departments, some IT departments. So it grows and grows on a regular basis. We started with the early access program, I think 2023, I think.
23,
and now,
yes.
Yes, and now we have about 4,100 such licenses. It grows steadily. So this was just an orientation about the tenant itself. Then let's go to the next topic about governance. Why is governance such a relevant topic? As a finance company, it was always important, but now we see the AI topic, and it makes it even more important, because with the AI, we see that especially the topic of oversharing and the topic of sharing of sensitive content gets more important. So it can easily be Copilot can easily access overshare content, and you can easily access also content if it's confidential. So that's something you have to address. We have the need to know principle in the left side, but still we have found a lot of oversharing issues which we have to fix. We see that the sharing was not always the best way they did. Sometimes they shared the content with a too large audience. That means, for example, tenant-wide. And we, of course, have also, we need something to handle outdated content. We have to find them. We have to get rid of it, because Copilot will find it. And if I say Copilot later on, of course, the agent will also find it. So some common use cases, which you probably know. At the beginning, many of our sites were public sites instead of private sites, and Copilot can index all the public sites and find this information, and therefore we changed a lot of them to private. Another option or another issue was that by default in the early days, it was that you share content with everyone in your tenant, and we changed that many years ago, 2017 already, that the default is now set to the direct sharing option. That means if the user shares something, by default, he see the direct sharing option, and he see not the tenant-wide sharing. And on the right side, you see labeling was a very important topic, because without labeling, it's hard to say if you have an oversharing or if you have a sharing of sensitive content, because you have first to identify what means sensitive content. So we have introduced labeling since 2019, and it's well accepted. And then in SharePoint, there's also one feature which we disabled maybe half a year ago. There was an option to share some content with everyone except external users. So it's also in our domain, it would mean 60,000 users. It's 45,000 plus 10,000 guest accounts and a few other ones. Okay, Michaela.
As you can see, we have already, or we want to present to you the automated governance tasks. But to also give you a better understanding, we apply a balanced approach to governance, meaning we combine automated tasks with manual effort. And what automation does or helps us is actually to handle repetitive checks, while manual reviews, we use this to focus more on one-time checks, on reviews that maybe matter the most for us as a financial institution. Yeah, this mix actually ensures that we maintain compliance. And as you can see, we implemented quite a few policies. Just a reminder or a quick observation, these are not all the policies that we have, but we rely heavily on SharePoint Advanced Management, or somehow you can see it here written on the slide. And of course, we have also on the right-hand side, the access control that we recommend and that we also implemented in our tenant since we started with the Copilot adoption. So I will start firstly with the SharePoint inactive sites policy. Why do we recommend it to you, and why did we implement it? is because you can stay on top with this policy. You can stay on top of site sprawl, of data sprawl, and you overall get a better understanding of how sites are used. It is that it checks automatically once configured every 6 months. So we set it for 6 months, but you can also set it to a longer period of time. We consider that in our case, half a year is the sweet spot or the best time to implement it. Why? Because we don't want to overwhelm the site owner with too many notifications or actions to be done. Yeah? And if that happens, for example, if there are inactive sites, they are set to read only and they are automatically archived. Yeah. With this, we covered all sites, meaning Teams sites as well as communication sites. And we optimize our storage and we keep our data quality in place. Yeah. And archiving data, if you don't know it already, sends that data to the cold storage and it's not accessed by Copilot anymore. However, if you have the possibility to, for example, assess the data and implement firstly retention or deletion policies, go for that solution first, and I would say implement this policy after as a extra layer of protection so that Copilot can use only the newest data in our tenant. Manfred is showing us right now a graphic, and as you can see, we reduced the number of inactive sites drastically in a matter of approximately 1 year. So we started with 720 sites at the beginning, and now we're at 228. Yeah. Bear in mind, or as an information, we have a total of 13K sites. So that would be roughly, I think, 1-2% of total sites that are inactive. So I would say it's a very comfortable position to be in. However, of course, we aim to have 0 such sites nonetheless, even if in some situations that is unattainable. However, this is ideal where we aim to be. Next slide, please. Yes, so having talked about inactive site policy, we jump now to the site ownership policy, and this one is especially helpful for us. We have been keen to have site owners since the beginning, since we implemented SharePoint in our organization. Why? Because we gave the freedom, or we empowered the site owners to be responsible for the permissions. Yeah. With this policy enabled, we make sure that we have at least 2 owners per site. And when one is sick or on holiday, for example, the other can immediately take over and cover the administration of that site. And again, in this case, this policy covers all our sites from the tenant, yeah, meaning the team site and communication site. And we will go now to the site ownership graphic. And actually, a key benefit of this policy is that once activated, you can also avoid ownerless sites. This is a huge plus because ownerless sites often contain outdated content. So by having a clean environment, also Copilot is delivering the best results to your users, and the users build this trust and they use Copilot more effectively, or they get this state that things are delivered the way that they are expecting it. And next, we will go to the attestation policy. Why? Because we run it, or we configured it also every 6 months. And it involves also the help of the group owners or the site owners that will review the sites to check and confirm if the sites are still used or are still needed. It can be that in our cases we've had different projects where multiple departments were involved, and after the project, for example, no one was feeling responsible for that content. So we still had these site owners, and they took responsibility and they confirmed, or they said no, the site can be deleted, we don't need it anymore, or no, they said we had some regulations to keep the data still further in our tenant. When it comes to covering, we have it implemented for the communication sites only. And if owners don't react, for example, after 3 email notifications, the sites are set to read only and then archived. So you see, we have this approach. We don't delete the data instantly. We have this buffer period, so we set it to read only. We still give the opportunity for the users to react, to say, hey, we still need that data or not. So, and yeah, that is our approach regarding the archiving of sites. And one thing that I want to mention also, since we're talking about archiving, we're very thrilled to have the option now with file level archiving, and we welcome this update from Microsoft.
Okay, next topic is we use also some feature from the Purview, which is available. It is a policy which allows us to hide some specific label content from Copilot indexing. We have in our bank one label which is called non-business content, because in our situation it's allowed to use the mailing and the OneDrive for private purposes or non-business purposes. And then the message was we want to exclude those non-business label content from the Copilot search, so that the Copilot does not relate to that. And with this policy, it is quite easy to implement it, and it was straightforward. And Copilot just ignores this content. You can, of course, use it also for other labels if you want. 2 other solutions which we provide or which we implemented are called restricted content delivery, RCD, on the left side, and restricted access control on the right side. So the left side is a possibility to define for a specific SharePoint site that the whole site should not be used by Copilot. So if you click on this checkbox, restrict content from Microsoft 365 Copilot, then this content will be not visible by the Copilot or by the web search. On the right side, we have another solution which is called restricted access control. Let's assume you have a site and you have a lot of permissions there where you are not happy about that permissions, you don't have a good overview, and you cannot fix it very fast, but still want to start with Copilot usage. Then you have the possibility to overrule the access permissions for this site. You can define the restricted access controls to specific users or specific groups, and all the existing permissions are then ignored, and this site can only be accessed by these specific mentioned users or groups. Okay, then you do a cleanup of this site. Maybe you clean up the permissions or the content, and after you have done this, you can release it again. One important remark here is if you use this restricted content delivery, it hides the content from the Copilot, especially if you do tenant-wide search or you use Copilot not on this specific site, then it is ignored. Currently, both settings can only be done by SharePoint admins or by site admins, but we have in our company no site admins, we have just site owners. So for us, it means if somebody wants to use these solutions, they have to do a ticket and then we enable it for them. Important to understand, if you are within a site and you have permission in this site, then of course the Copilot can still be used to do the prompts against the content which is in this specific site. just the tenant-wide search and tenant-wide usage would not be covered, so you can hide content from Copilot.
And with that, we go to the next topic, and that is actually the weekly governance task. And for the sake of time, I will keep this short. The weekly tasks basically include stakeholder alignments as well as the Microsoft 365 roadmap check, but message center check as well. Yeah. So when it comes to alignments with stakeholders, we meet with security, for example, or with service responsibles, and we discuss on a regular basis the different channels that we have. For example, we track also open tasks, and we review upcoming changes that we find relevant or that apply to our tenant. And when it comes to change and adoption, we rely primarily on using the roadmap and, as I told you before, checking regularly the message center at least once a week. Yeah? So with this action, we make sure that we are ahead of the updates, or we are ahead of the wave, so to say, and we make sure that change and adoption in our organization happens, or we're trying to make this as organically as possible. And other than that, we move to the monthly tasks. So you see this mix. We have automated, we have monthly, we have also quarterly as well as weekly tasks. This this time arrangement for us, it makes sense because we know exactly on which task we have to focus. Yeah. So with that being said, the majority of these tasks are covered, these monthly tasks are covered by SharePoint Advanced Management.
Perfect. So we do also quarterly governance tasks. Just an overview, we do, for example, a default labeling for each site because the user should see what kind of site is it. Is it a general site? Is it a confidential site? Is it a strictly confidential site? It gives an indication what sensitivity it is, and it gives us also a possibility later on to implement a policy that you cannot upload sensitive content to a non-sensitive site. The second part is the public teams review. We check on a regular basis if public teams reached at least 150 members in 6 months. If this is not the case, then we automatically change it to private teams. And the last topic is we do a regular guest accounts review. On a quarterly basis, we check if there are outdated guest accounts, and we identify always, let's say, 1,000 to 2,000 guest accounts which were not used in the last 180 days. We make a list out of them, ask the countries, do you still need these guest accounts or not? If they don't need it, we delete them. So on a typical basis, we delete about 1,000 guest accounts if we do this review.
Agent governance, and why we included the agents governance in today's webinar, because you cannot talk about AI and Copilot without addressing the topic of agents. Yeah, it's a really hot topic. Everyone is interested in the topic. So just to give the audience an understanding, I'm sure that you know it by now. There are different agent types. Yeah, we have the Microsoft agent. We have agent types. Microsoft agents. Yeah, we have the external partner agents. Of course, we have the declarative agents as well, and the custom agents. Also, I'm sure that you're pretty familiar with this graphic, so you can see from which tool the different agents are created, from low code to pro code. Yeah, so we have, for example, agents that are created by developers, or on the other spectrum, just at the beginning, the simplest, so to say, there are the end users that are able to create agents, and they create, for example, agents in Copilot chat or over the SharePoint. We have an interesting approach when it comes to the different agent types in our organization, and the different responsibilities we share. So in our case for Raiffeisen Bank International, we are responsible. So the M365 team, Manfred and me, we cover the governance of the SharePoint agents, the Copilot chat agents, and the Microsoft agents, as well as the external partner agents. Yeah. However, we collaborate closely with the other responsible teams, and this approach has worked very well so far. So we can also recommend it further. Please go to the next slide. And when it comes to agent management, if you ask us, for us, what has been working very efficient is actually using the Microsoft Agent 365 solution. This enables us so far to get a tenant overview of the agent created in our tenant by having, for example, an inventory. And with the help of this inventory, we observed trend creation when it comes to agents or usage trends. And if I think of a really specific case, for example, we can really go into detail and see which Raiffeisen Bank in which country has created the most agents, and which countries haven't maybe adopted agent creation so far. So we know where to invest our further, our efforts further when it comes to training and adoption, for example. And as you can see here in this slide, we have approximately, let me see, 6,000 something agents, and the majority of these agents were created in Microsoft Foundry, and then comes the agents created in the Copilot. So you can see there's this preference, so to say, for these two tools, but it's definitely close when it comes to the agents created in Copilot Studio. So these are the, let's say, the three favorites of our organization. And Manfred will present us here the agent licensing.
Also interesting, how do we licensing this agent topic? There are 3 different models which we can use. Of course, we have the Copilot licensed users, the 4,100. They are all allowed to create agents, but this license costs $30 per user per month. We also offer 2 other solutions. One is called pay-as-you-go solution. That means you pay exactly for those prompts or those credits you used. And in the middle, you see the prepaid Copilot credits packs you can purchase. So they cost about $200 per pack, and you have there 25,000 credits associated with it. If it's gone, there are 2 choices. Maybe you fall back to a pay-as-you-go, or the request just stops. So this is the billing options we have. All of them are checked, and all of them are working from our side. Then, of course, the big question is, what about licensing? As you have seen, 1st of May, the Agent 365 license now is GA, and we have the new E7 license available. And the big question was for us, when do we need the Agent 365 licensing? And it was not an easy task, and it's still not an easy task. We get some information from Microsoft sessions that there are some core license rules. For example, if an agent acts on behalf of you, then you need an Agent 365 license. Or the second one is if an agent runs autonomously, then the agent itself needs an agent 365 license. And then we have some examples. When do we need a license and when not? For example, examples required agent 365 when you send an email or a Teams post in your name, or you do some summaries or reports created using your permissions. So the agent is doing it for you. Or if you schedule some background tasks in the night, some SharePoint scans are done, or the autonomous workflows is doing some tasks. What does not need a license? Basic Copilot chat queries and document Q&A, or if it's not onboarded in the Agent 365 control system. Still not satisfied with this list and still not clear. We will see what the future brings. Okay. Next topic is if we consider now the topic of governance for agents, it is very important to understand that agent uses the same governance as Copilot. If you use the same content, for example, the same Office graph or work IQ, as it is now called, the same data there, then if you have implemented Copilot related governance, then this is also applying to the agents, because the agents will then use also the clean environment. Important, you see here also the whole list, what we do in this Copilot governance part. And a few months ago, we had to invest 4.5 or 4.4 person days per month. And now we do more and more automation. So we need these free resources to cover the agent topic more properly, because it gets more and more complex. We have restricted who can create agents. We said only those who have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license can create agents in SharePoint or with the agent builder. And in Copilot Studio, you also have to purchase or to request a maker role that you can create agents in Copilot Studio. So it's limited. Next part is there are some agent settings available, not that much, but what is available we did already define. For example, there is this allowed agent types. We disallowed all external publisher agents, so nobody can use third-party agents automatically. By default, it is, of course, activated, but we disabled it. Or on the right side, we also disabled the tenant-wide sharing of agents, because we have 45,000 users, different countries, and we see no use case where somebody should share his agent for 45,000 users. So nobody can share tenant-wide. Then we have also blocked all third-party agent. Currently, it's a manual task. They pop up always on a regular basis. We check it on a weekly basis, and then we block them. In May, there should be an automated possibility available. We're evaluating this, and hopefully we can automate it then, because it does not make sense that we do this on a manual basis. It's more than 1,500 external agents already. And then we manage also the ownerless agents. Here the situation is this, that if some agent gets ownerless, that means mostly the user have left the company, and then we don't know to whom belongs this company, this agent. We cannot reassign a new agent. So this is a pity. So what we do is, if we identify these ownerless agents, which we have currently 35, we block them. Okay. And you see here all are blocked. One is not blocked, but we have to do this in a short time. And if somebody complains, then we can identify a new owner potentially. But frankly speaking, we are waiting for a solution here that we can define 2 owners per agent. And we are also waiting for an agent attestation policy, which is not available. Next topic is we introduce, or we want to have some naming conventions for agents, because otherwise as you have seen, we have 6,000 such agents. It's very hard for us to find to whom does this agent belong, to which countries. And we expect at least that the name is meaningful, and at the end of the agent name, there should be in bracket the company, a company code. Yeah.
We're happy. No, it's fine. We're happy that to announce we were part also of the Microsoft Agent 365 EAP, and we got to test, on first hand the functionalities proposed by Microsoft. And if you go now to the next slide, yes, we are looking forward to this policy that is planned to be available now in May. So this policy actually promises to manage agent lifecycle, to block these agents and to find risky agents. But nonetheless, as a conclusion, if you wanted, if you didn't start your governance journey yet, or if you want to think about it like this, your call to action after this webinar is to start adopting governance gradually. You have seen that during our presentation, we had a lot of policies regarding Copilot. So the Copilot governance is really steady. It's a robust and mature governance, but there are still some things to improve in the matter of agent governance. We are very happy to see what Microsoft has in store when it comes to Copilot AI, and we embrace when we look to embrace the new functionalities. Yes, I think with that we are reaching the end of our webinar.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and some answers to the questions.
Exactly, we're happy to take some questions.
I checked the questions. Can you briefly describe how you have implemented your level 5 AI augmented governance model phase? We did not implement it. We are not at level 5. We are at level 3, and certain parts are at level 4 and level 5. So it's not finished yet. It's just an orientation for us that we know where we are. Yeah?
How governance, as you may already know it's an ongoing process. We did some aspects in those regards in the level 4 and 5, and that's why.
Yeah. Next question: how do you technically determine outdated guest accounts? We have an approach that we first check if a guest account was not signed in the last 180 days. And then the second part is we check if the guest account is somehow in no teams associated anymore. And if both is the case, then we add it to the list of potentially to be deleted guest accounts. Okay. Next question: do you use only some tools for governance, or do you use some other tools how you can govern site teams and guest users creation? So this is all the creation topic we did not add there because creation is done by ServiceNow requests in our tenant. So if you want to create a new site or new teams, we have ServiceNow shop items set up, and in these shop items, also for guest users, you have to define certain attributes. For example, you have to define 2 owners. You give a business reason why you need this. We did not add this to our slides, but this is implemented since this the beginning. This is part of the
processes, yes, that we have the internal processes.
Yeah, important question, and important that you cover this creation process. Last question, which I see in the organization: can we mix and match the 200 package for users that don't have Copilot license, those who have Copilot license? Yes, you can mix them. So you can even mix all 3 models. So if you have a license, no credits will calculate it. If you have the credit packs available, it will be calculated from the credit packs, and if it's gone and you have pay-as-you-go enabled, it goes to the pay-as-you-go. In the near future, there should be a solution that you can define exactly for which users and which agents, which solution you want to apply. For example, you can assign a credit back to a special combination or also the pay-as-you-go. Currently, it is not possible to restrict it to certain agents only, but this will come soon. Are there any governance tool to query a user account to find out all the agents they have authored? We have a tool here.
You're not aware of this?
There is a tool. One moment. There's the tool. Who are the creators of the agents? So now in the Agents 365 inventory, if you export the whole list, you will see who has created it. So we know the owner. Yeah, but find out all the agents they have authored. Yeah, that's the answer to that. Yeah. So you can find.
Yes, then you can filter by that. Yeah.
Exactly. Before the owner was not added, but since a few months now in the export of the Agents 365 agent list, you will get this information who has created an agent, and this is helpful. Yeah, Copilot Studio Kit may also help, but yes, only for the Copilot Studio related agents, which is in our case 50%.
Perfect. So, yeah, it looks like that's all the questions. So on behalf of the ESPC community, we'd like to extend a big thank you to you again, Manfred and Mihaela, for taking time out to deliver this webinar.
Thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure.
Perfect. So that's the end of this webinar. You'll receive an email after with the recording.